and we want to welcome everybody to the Brand You Development Series. Now, it'll take a second for it to get on to go for us to load up on the Facebook, but the recording and stuff started. So we want to welcome everyone to the Brand You Development Series. We want to thank you all for coming on. It's your boy, the Impact Builder, Leroy McKenzie Jr. And y'all know how we do with the Brand New Development Series. We want to bring you, I mean, not the Brand New Development, the Brand New Development Series. We want to bring you knowledge, information, and resources that are here to be able to assist you in being able to gain knowledge, information, and resources that will um, equip you, that will enlighten you, that will impact you to want to do something and move you to be even more than what you may have thought you could be and want to be. So we want to get in tonight and we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We want you to share, share, share. We want you to tell a friend to tune in. If you are an entrepreneur, you are someone that wants to be tuned in tonight because I promise you, this conversation is for you. We know that we are going through some unprecedented times right now, and we are experiencing just some things that we've never experienced before. And we want everyone to be able to be tuned in to be able to understand and get some things that you're not going to readily hear about, and that's what I always try to say about what we're doing. And tonight is going to be no different. Now, tonight I have with me, and we're going to get into this conversation with a brother that is doing some great things here in Baltimore and the area. And for those that are in Baltimore, they may know him. For those that are outside of the area, you will get to know him. But he is a brother who is doing some phenomenal things, and this is none other than Brother Stephen Johnson, and he is the president and CEO. Is an entrepreneur, is a media. I'm gonna call him a media mogul for all of the things that he
Wow.
does. But he's a man of multiple streams, and we'll get into that today too. Having those multiple streams of income as an entrepreneur. So I want to welcome you, Brother Stephen. Welcome to the Brand New Development Show. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Well, thank you, Leroy. First of all, this is an honor. I appreciate you even thinking of me to be on your great platform.
No, absolutely, man, absolutely. I've been to several events that have been held at your establishments that you have, and for those that may not know or be aware, I'm going to give him the opportunity to tell us just a little bit about who you are. Tell us a little bit about who you are and your background, so that people can get to know a little bit about you, and then we'll get into the conversation, this entrepreneurship journey conversation that we're going to have this evening.
Thank you again, and I appreciate all the ones that are tuning in to listen to hear about little old me. The I'm a first of all, I'm a man of God. Most importantly, I'm a husband, minister at my church,
Mm,
as well as I have one of my businesses is called Jantex Worldwide, which is a disinfectant cleaning business where we actually disinfect, but we also test to see if the coronavirus is on any
mm,
surfaces,
mm,
and if they are there, we we test these surfaces, and then we disinfect and we kill it within 5 minutes. Um, and another business that I have is that I have, which is mainly what most people know me as. I have my own entertainment business. Um, so I have two TV shows that air every week on ABC Local.
mm,
Um, and then I have another TV show that airs on my TV network, which is under Fox.
Okay.
All three of them air every week, and then and that's my entertainment business, but it's also under my film company called Minimals Film. And then I have as Leroy spoke of, I have a venue in Mount Vernon called La Familiar Arts and Media Production Studios. So it's a full-fledged venue, um, really targeted for live entertainment, private events, weddings, things like that. And now the biggest thing is live streaming.
Hmm.
So that's just to name a few things that I'm doing.
What are just a few things? That's a lot of things that you got going on, man. Now, what got you started as an entrepreneur? What made you want to become an entrepreneur? Is that something that's always been inside of you, or is that something that kind of grew on you?
Um, Great question. Most people do not know, but when I was young, I was diagnosed having a learning disability.
Okay.
So when I was raised in Baltimore County, they said that my learning disability was so severe that they took me out of all public school and put me in a school that specialized with kids that had learning disabilities like myself.
Okay.
So um, li- living out in Randallstown at that time, my friends in my school wanted to know why it took me 25 minutes to get to school. Why weren't I going to the same schools that they were going? At that time, I didn't understand, but when I first got to the school, I thought that my parents became rich because the, the school had elevator, it had an escalator, it had carpet, it had its own eye doctor, it had its own
Wow.
dentist office. Man, I thought my parents had made it, and I never forget. I was in class, and um, it was like when my beginning, like the first day in class, and a kid next to me flipped the desk over and started screaming.
Mm.
And the teacher walked to the clipboard, pressed this button, and next I knew, three men came, ran in, grabbed the kid, and dragged him out. And the kid next to me said he's going to the pink room. So I was like, what is the pink room? So I shared it to my siblings, and my siblings laughed. They thought this thing was so funny.
Hmm.
Uh, what I learned was that it was not in time. I found out it was not that I had a learning disability. I found out I learned differently.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so what happened was they took me out. I was in that school for about 3 years, and they took me out, put me in fourth grade, and I stayed in these special education classes until I was a freshman in high school. And they decided to take me out of the school as a experiment. Um, One thing that I was blessed at was that I had a strong family and I had a superb father. And my father passed down to me work ethic.
Mm.
So, what I found out in the process of being in a special school and coming out was to level the playing field with me and my peers. I had to work twice as hard as they did just to be on playing level field.
Mm.
Um, as a result, um, it just gave me um, a a unusual work ethic that when I found out that I learned differently and I put how to I would say how to live day to day with impeccable work ethic. What I thought was what many people in my family thought was a curse in my life actually became my advantage. Um, so that alone allowed um, because when I went to college, I went to Catonsville Community College for 2 years, and due to my education, um, I lacked, like I had the beginning stage, the basics, and I had the advanced, but a lot of the middle ground I did not have. So I struggled in school. So um, I I knew then that if I was going to pursue a 9 to 5 career, I knew that I probably was going to be very limited financially in what I could be able to earn. Um, so I literally really didn't have a choice but to start my business because again, I knew I was not going to, I knew I was going to be able to, um, due to my education background, I probably was going to be on minimum wage.
Mm.
So I, that's what really got me into pursuing um, just owning my own business and everything.
Wow, wow, that's a dynamic um, just story and a background background to get you started and everything like that. So as you went along and you decided to go on this walk, this journey that I call entrepreneurship. Like you mentioned, you not only just have one business, but you have several businesses, and you wear several hats. How do you navigate through wearing the many hats and being in the different dynamic, the different industries that you're in? Because you go from having a specialty cleaning service to having to having having a TV show, having TV network TV shows. How do you navigate those, and how did those come about too?
Well, that's a great question. Really, I really believe that um, there are many experiences that we have in life that we sometimes run from, and sometimes we want to know, like, well, God, why am I doing this, and why am I doing it? This is not working out. Not realizing that everything that you do can actually really be used to your benefit if your eyesight is to use certain things as an opportunity. Okay,
Mm.
so when I was in high school, again with a learning disability, um, I I was I was captain of my basketball team,
Oh, okay.
and 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 that again, work ethic, I worked harder than everybody else and everything else like that. Then at the basketball practice, I had a job at a grocery store. In my senior year, I still had the grocery store, still was on the basketball team, still doing school, and then I got hired for a cleaning job, to clean the office building near the airport. So I had 2 jobs in high school. Um, the basketball coach would only let people play who, at my high school, unless you was on the honor roll. If you wasn't on the honor roll, you didn't play.
Oh, wow.
So, um, so learning disability or no learning disability, I found out how to get good grades.
Right,
Um,
absolutely.
so what happened is, I worked in corrections for a couple years, about 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and during during corrections, the I had every month I had a week off.
Okay. Okay.
So you work basically 7 days a week, but every month you had a week off,
Week off.
and
Mm-hmm.
every other week you had your weekend off. So I decided during that week off was no use in me standing around and flipping my thumbs and trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. I was like, well, I knew some other people that was doing very successful with their cleaning company.
Okay.
So I I launched my cleaning company right there, and then never forget this. I was sharing this to someone else last week. Um, you never turn down opportunities in relationships,
Mm.
you know, and just because you know somebody now, develop good relationships because they might be the person that gives you that opportunity that you need 15, 20 years later, you know. So um one of the people had a contract through cleaning at Micah College,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and they needed a summer clean out during their dorms, which only lasts for about 6 to 7 weeks. So she was looking for a minority business that she could hire. This had to be about just around 2001. She was looking for a minority business to hire, and um, someone said, "Hey, you know, Stevie has a cleaning service." She said, "Oh, Stevie has a cleaning service." Well, again, she knew my reputation and my work ethic, and she knew I was a man of my word. So she called me, and she told me what she had, and um, I started running numbers with her, and basically this 6 week this 6 to 8 week project was actually my salary as a correctional officer for a whole year.
Ooh.
So um um I was really tossed because I had been in the job world, um um again, working corrections, doing a whole many different hats, and I was really heavy in the entertainment business, doing music. So I wanted to free up my time, but I was afraid of how I was going to survive. No, I was married. I had a child then. I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to survive.
Okay.
So one of my clients was a doctor, was a white doctor, and I shared to him what was going on, and he said, "Well, when you finish, come to my office. Let's talk." So I went to his office, and he said, "Well, tell me the opportunity again." I told him the opportunity. And he said, "So you're saying in 6 to 8 weeks, you will make your salary as a correctional officer for the whole year?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, so what are your concerns?" And I said, "My concern is based on talking to other people, talking to other correctional officers and things like that. I was like, what am I going to do after the job happens, and what happens if I don't get another job or another contract? What do I do then?" And the doctor looked at me and he said, "Well, it's going to take you 2 months basically to do it, right?" I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "Well, I guess you have 10 months to decide." And I looked at him, and you know when someone speaks to you, but it's so prophetic and it's so much
Mm-hmm.
wisdom,
Absolutely.
I was like, I got, I really have 10 months to find other contracts, do what I ever do. And brother, that's basically what I did. And for the most part, I never looked back since then.
And tell me if you found this to be true, because I know this has found to me for me too, that as you navigated and as you've made those relationships
Hmm.
that you've gained, they led you to that next relationship, which has led you
Absolutely,
which has led you to
absolutely,
the next relationship.
absolutely.
And I've said this, that relationships are resources. You know,
Yes.
they become and when you nurture those relationships, it becomes a thing where, and especially when you pride yourself on being a good person, when you pride yourself on your work ethic, when you pride yourself on just the way that you conduct yourself. I think
Hmm.
people see that when you're genuine. I think
Yeah.
people will see that and they say, wow, okay, who do I know that
Yes.
I know that can, that could use this person's product or service? How can I then put them on?
Yeah.
and do those things, and you find not only you growing, but you find your business, your brand growing,
Yes.
because then it becomes a reputation thing.
Yes.
Because like, wow, he did a good job for me. I know that they're gonna do a good. He's gonna do a good job for this person, or he's gonna do a good job for the next person. So,
Yeah.
but have you found that since you haven't looked back that was the case for you, that each of those
Oh, yeah.
relationships kind of moved you into the
Um,
next one?
absolutely. The thing is that um, you have to be genuine when you're doing relationships. You
Yeah.
know, I watch people and they a woman might decide that she wants to sell Mary Kay, or she wants to do a multi marketing business, and all of a sudden the first thing they say is talk to the people that you know,
Right.
and your family and friends, and they come to realize that they really don't know anybody, you
Mm-hmm.
know. um and and you can't then decide to build relationships, because
Right.
now you have a motive for why you're talking to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But if you if you if your heart, like, the sad thing that I think about this current generation, I want to say the social media generation,
Mm-hmm.
um um many kids don't want to talk to each other. They don't want to
Right.
rub arms with anybody. They don't want to build relationships. They want it to be just black and white. And the problem is that, again, um, Leroy, we're talking now, but 15 years from now, you might get a call from Viacom,
Mm-hmm.
and Viacom might say um, they need some more episodes, or they need some more content with television. And then you're like, oh, well, Leroy, you might say, well, I have this, I have that, but that's not as much as Viacom really needs. They
Mm-hmm.
need something more. So then you got to think about, well, who do I know? Well, if you don't have relationships with people,
Right.
then my name won't even, you will forget about what I do,
Mm.
because I don't have a relationship with you.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
but if I have a relationship with you, when someone calls and you say, you know what, Stevie might be really interested in this, because due to relationship, you know what I do, you know what I'm looking for, you know where I'm going at, you know. So absolutely. I mean, um 80% of all the things that has happened in my life
Mm.
is it has not happened because my arm was that strong, or I was making so many big moves. Honestly, it was because of favor, people knowing me, and
Mm.
people directing me to the next hookup, you know.
Now let me ask you, and you just made me think of this, and I know you're a man of God, so I think you'll get this. Um, that what you made me think about was Joseph,
Mm-hmm.
and when he was in prison, and the prisoner that he had developed that relationship with that prisoner in there, and he asked him. He said the only thing he wanted them to do was remember my name. He said, "Remember me when you're out there." And what happened was, when that prisoner got in front of the king, he said, "I know a man," because the king was trying to interpret the dreams, and he couldn't find anybody that could interpret the dreams. And the guy said, "Hey, I know this guy that told me about my dreams
Yes.
in
Yeah.
prison. So you should have him. He might be able to tell you about your dream." And you just made me think of that when when you started talking about that, because it was all about that relationship that he had, that
Yeah.
Joseph had with that guy that was in prison, that he went and told the king
Yes.
about him interpreting dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And he remembered him because of the conversations, because of the relationship that they had developed
yes,
right there.
yes,
And the king said, well, hey, let me check this dude out since he referred him to me, and let me see if he can do what he said that he could do. So it made me think about that when you
uh-huh.
just talk when you just talking about that how just how important relationships are,
Yeah,
and we have to understand that in this in this entrepreneurship journey, that it is important of the relationships that you build,
yeah,
and the relationships that that you kind of grow and that you nurture along the way, because you
mm,
never know how you may pour into someone, and then how someone may pour into you,
yes,
is what I say. So I like that. I like that. I like that. I want you to, Ken, I want to ask you this. What do you think are three misconceptions about entrepreneurship that aspiring entrepreneurs have when starting a business? And put it in the context when you first started your business. I want you to talk about what you thought it would be, and then what you actually, when you found out actually what it was, the difference between, yeah, I think I can have my own business, but then when you actually had your own business, what was it, the same, or what you thought it would be? And even now looking back, do you think that it's the same as what you thought it would be, being an entrepreneur?
yeah. One of the things being an entrepreneur that I did not know, almost like it's just like getting married, and you're like, you know,
For
what
sure.
things did you not know before? What did you think marriage is going to be like before you got married?
Yep.
Um, business, um, people really do not understand how much work
Mm-hmm.
and how much dedication it takes
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
business. Um, they if you're looking for a 9 to 5,
This ain't
um,
it.
this is not it. Um, so like that was one. Um, Another thing that I did not know is that as a black man, um, I totally was not prepared or mentored
Mm. Okay.
on how to run a business and how a black man should run a business, and how crucial it is to um, quote unquote not be controlled by a slave master. Um, I'm not saying that everybody should own their own business because not everybody's built on their
Yeah.
business. Um, but I am saying that there's many of us that are too scared to make that leap of faith um, to run a business. And another thing that I did not know was how um, the roller coaster ride that is involved in running a business.
Mm-hmm.
Many times you have um, a lot of times you don't have time to celebrate because the thing's getting ready to fall down. And but when it falls down, you can't whine and complain because you're not going to stay there. It's going to wind up going back up again. So you really just ride the wave, and it's some of the things I just did not know about business, not
Right.
at all.
Right. 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 And I think that's always, well, I think in most cases, because I think we go into thinking, um, oh, it's it's going to be easy, or that it is easy, and oh, I can do this, especially for those of us, and I know for me, um, I started off working in corporate America,
Gotcha.
and you get your, you learn, you see how things are done and run like that and everything like that. And I know for me, I started to think, well, I can, I can. This is something that if this were my company, this is what I would do, and all of those things. But then when it is your company,
Yeah.
and you got to do some of those things. You're like, wow, this is this is not what I thought it would be, and that's why I say this. I say this all the time that I have so much more respect for those Fortune 500 companies
Oh, 1000%. Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, man, to get to where they
Yes.
are.
Yes.
I tell you, every Fortune 500 company started off as a small business. I don't
Yes.
care what it was. It
Yes.
started off as a small business, but to grow it to a Fortune 500 company, that take like you said, it takes a lot. It takes an enormous amount of dedication.
Yeah.
It takes an enormous amount of focus. It takes an enormous amount of doing.
Yeah.
I think in order to get there, and I don't think that a lot of entrepreneurs understand that it's a daily grind. It's
Yeah.
a daily working at what it is that you do. I
Yeah.
mean, working at your brand,
Yeah.
working at even working at networking,
Yes.
being able to understand the significance of that, garnering those relationships. How do I get to this, to this position, to that position that's going to move me? And that's one of the things I know that I thought was very, that I admired about my pastor because he
Mm-hmm.
had a passion for taking our church to the next levels.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew, and for him personally, he talked about doing certain things
Yeah.
that would put him in position to
Yeah.
do certain things that he wanted to
Yeah.
do. So he knew he had to learn. There were certain things that he had to learn. There were certain jobs or certain tasks that he would have to do in order to be able to get to to the position that he was trying to get to and everything like that. And then as a consequence, moving us as a church, and that was just me seeing him do that. I took that and said, wow, I can apply that to what I do with my business. I
Yeah.
know if I want to get here, I know I have to do this and this. My
Yeah.
next move, I call it all the time, I say take playing chess versus checkers,
Yeah.
because in
Yeah.
chess you're always thinking about not the next move, but the next move and the next move and the next
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
And in business you have to be able to do that, not only thinking about right now, but you got to think 2, 3, 4 moves ahead of where we are right now and
Yeah.
everything like that. So I think that's great. So what do you think, um, what three things what are three things that an aspiring entrepreneur needs in order to go into business? What should they have at the core of them before they even think about starting a business?
Um, One of the things which is most importantly is a vision.
Mm, mm,
Um, in order for you to execute it, you have to see it first.
absolutely, absolutely.
Um, um, uh, Another thing that you need is patience,
Mm, mm,
um, because typically in business, many people quit before
mm,
they can reap their fruit that they planted.
absolutely, absolutely.
Um, and Another thing that someone needs in running a business is, I think we talked about it before, is being dedicated to see the full course.
Mm,
You know, you can't um, um, you have to be persistent. You have to be diligent. You have to be dedicated to what you're doing. Um, and all the things that I do, and I learned this very early in business. Um, if it's a product, if it's a service, they're not purchasing and buying the product or hiring your service. They're hiring you.
yep.
And if if they see it in you or they want to be more like what you are doing, then they will grab what you have. But but so a lot of things, I'm really heavy into dealing with the inner core of yourself,
Mm,
because most of the time, and I testified to this in business again through the roller coaster rides. Um, my Most of the things that I failed at in owning a business, anything in life, you're going to have failures. So you're going to get black eyes. It's all part of the process. I came to realize that many of the things that went wrong in my business um, is because I got in the way. I tried to force people to see what I saw or take what I wanted instead of riding the wave and saying, you know what, um, COVID, the coronavirus has shut the venues down.
Mm,
So what do you do?
mm,
Well, um, you can try all you want to try to do a whole bunch of events. You're going to get shut down by the city. You don't want to do that, and you're going to get fined.
right.
So you have to ride the wave. For me, God blessed me to be on television.
Mm,
So um, the entertainment through television, when COVID hit, I knew right then that it was time, and God was letting me know it's time to take the filming to the next level.
mm,
So I didn't have time to whine and complain.
mm,
Um, I literally had to say, okay, well, this is what this is what the cards dealt me, and this is what I'm going to do. And um, um, I am um, I believe that the coronavirus through COVID is a horrible situation that has shaken the world. Um, Many people are hurting, and many people want this to pass, including myself. Um, as far as business, it has been the best thing that ever happened for me.
mm,
My
mm.
business has soared since
Yeah,
February.
I'm
I
sure.
mean, and it's in multiple different areas. So it's
Okay.
not just in entertainment, it's not just in television, it's not just in the cleaning business. It's just it has just soared in so many different areas. And it would have never happened if I had not already positioned myself
Mm,
years ago, not knowing that a time like this was going to be called where they would need me the way that they have.
right.
So yeah.
Wow, that's huge. So I hope everybody has their pen. Oh, got their pen and pads and are taking notes because this is some good stuff. Now I know that you are a big community advocate,
Mhm,
especially here in the city that we're in,
mhm.
Baltimore. Now you said you grew up here in Baltimore.
Um, I was raised in Baltimore County.
Okay, okay.
Um, Family from the city, so I would say that I was in the city more than I was in the county. It probably was 50-50, 60-40.
Mm. But being here from this area,
Yes. Yeah.
knowing what we know about our city,
Yes.
and I always say I love our city. I
Yeah.
love this city. I think there are some great, phenomenal people that are in the city that are here and have come from here, but
Mhm.
people choose not to focus on those things and everything like
Sure.
that. They want to focus on all of the other stuff. What do you think that we need to do in order to make our communities better here in our city? And what are some of the things that you may do in order to be able to kind of contribute to try and make our city better, our communities better? Did I lose it? Hope not. He froze up, so we're gonna get him back. We're having um, some tech.
There you go. I can't hear you though.
Okay, can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay, there we go.
There you
All
go.
right.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So, but you were talking about the different things that you do in the community, or that we need to do
Yes.
in the community to make our community better.
Mhm. So, um, one thing that our city needs, and I'm seeing it a lot more than I did, I would even say 10 years ago,
Mhm,
is
mhm.
unity. We need to come together.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
the Black Lives Matter. Um, I am so thrilled that people, and especially our community,
Mhm,
would seek out for Black business owners before they go to the mall to shop for clothes. You know, you're looking for Black fashion designers and people selling black products and things like that. Um, that that really helps our community.
mhm,
Um, really just my biggest thing I think is literally us coming together and doing more things together. Um, and then also I think like the platform that you have, we we making the effort to give other ones um, a platform, you know, a platform that many other people are not able to get on their own. Um, I think that's one of the big things that our that is really needed in our city.
mhm.
Um, and I the 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 God that lives in me, and it relates to business as well. Um, people need to people need an encounter. More people in our city need a godly encounter.
Mm,
Um, I b- I believe that um, it's just too much in our world, especially our city, of life only about myself.
right.
It's not a godly principle, and again, if you sow, you'll reap. But if you
Mhm,
don't sow anything, then how you expect to reap it? How you expect to have fruit?
absolutely.
So you have to give, and again, you do not give to receive. Um, if you give, it's the result is that you're just going to receive, but your intent has to be, I'm giving because I want to give and I want to help, and and that relates to business as well. I mean, I can't tell you how many things that I've done for free.
Mm,
I can't tell you how many things that I've done as a hookup because I believed in somebody and I knew they did not have it. I'm not talking about the ones that's trying to get over. I'm talking about, you know, they don't have it, but they really have a dream in their vision, and you sow, and in my experience, I sold to 4 or 5, and next you know, I get a phone call from somebody that is way bigger than doing way more than I'm doing, and they feel the heart to give towards me. So it's just a big cycle that can be contagious if more of us grab into it.
yeah, yeah, and a perfect example of that, it was the the scholarship that Denzel gave
Yes.
to Howard
Yeah.
University, or
Mm-hmm.
gave to that the theatrical department with
Mm-hmm.
Felicia Rashad, and um, one of those recipients was um, was Chadwick Boseman, and he
Mm.
goes on to
Wow.
be, to that career that
Wow.
he has.
Wow.
And it's just like to see that investment that
Mm.
Denzel made, and it's like, wow, this is what happens when you sow into good ground, when you sow
Yes.
into those folks, like you said, that there's something about them, and they
Yeah.
just need that little nudge, and
Mm.
that little push to be able to help them to be able to get where it is that they're trying to get to, or get started on that path that they want to get. they get started on, and they go and they fly, as your shirt says, they
Yeah.
fly, they fly, and they just soar, and everything like that. So I thought that that was a great story, and everything the way. And I didn't even when they first initially told it, I didn't realize that Felicia Rashad was his
Mm.
theater teacher, and she's the one that made the call to
Wow.
Denzel for the
Wow.
class, because it was the class that went to Oxford. They
Wow.
were looking to go to it was some program, and they needed money, of course, for them to be able to travel, overseas to Oxford and everything like that. So she had, here we go again, she had resources
Yeah.
that she could
And
say,
relationship.
right, in relationships, that she can
Yeah.
say, hey, I have a group of good kids that we're trying, that would be awesome and great to be in this program, but we don't have the funds to be able to do that. Oh, what do you need? you know
Yeah.
and and I believe it was Denzel and a couple other people that contributed to it,
Yeah.
to them being able to go and be a part of that. But that's what happens when we
Yeah.
invest
Yeah.
in our communities.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can see that part of it, that aspect of it, it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows. So I mean, I think that's great. Um, I want to go from the community to actually talking about the whole of entrepreneurship. And I want to ask you, what do you see are three things that we can do to understand business, money, and investing, and the part that it plays in strengthening our communities? Because many entrepreneurs, their one drawback, their one hurdle is about money. One, capital, being able to raise capital, but then two, many entrepreneurs don't understand how money works and to use
Yeah.
it, how to best use it in their businesses, and then how that relates to the community. So can you talk a little bit about that, since you are intertwined in all of those things?
Sure. And I hope I answered the question correctly. The your I believe that, and it's one of the reasons why I'm such an advocate of um, business owners and starting your own business. Um, your first investment should always be in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is you have too many people that invest in other people's visions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the reasons why many people um, don't last in business, because it really was never completely their vision. So you have to invest in you have to invest in yourself first. Um, Also, you can't spend more than you make. It's very simple.
Right.
Now, I have a learning disability, but I come to realize that if I have $10, don't want to spend 100. You know,
Absolutely.
so so you have um, one of the problems that people have in business is that sometimes they create something that no one wants.
Mm-hmm.
And it does not mean that it's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
It means that you have to find a way to articulate to people, and to get them to understand that they actually want what you have,
Mm-hmm.
without forcing them, and without putting out there on your Facebook and your social media platforms that nobody supports me. You know, well, maybe if you gave them what they wanted, maybe they would support you. Maybe they just don't want what you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
So um, um having said that, you really have to, like, especially with money, um you have to put your money up. You have to invest. You have to invest in things that's going to give you a return.
Right.
So, and that's why I say you invest in yourself first, because no one's going to believe in your vision more than you.
One should believe in your vision more than
Yeah, oh, it shouldn't.
you.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Should not.
Yeah, because if
So,
somebody believes more in your vision than you do, then hey.
yeah. So, I really feel that's one of the big keys of um, business, especially with money. Um, and something else I wanted to bring to you. I'm not sure, like it's just another kicker and another key in business. Um, part of part of the little success that God has blessed me with is based on me having mentors.
Mm,
Um, um, I, my wife gets on me all the time about it, but it's just the way that I'm wired. Um, I I used to, again, I'm from the entertainment business. I used to be an artist. I was on I have a TV show, different things like that. Um, I typically don't ask people if they like my show or not.
mm,
And I
mm,
typically don't ask people if they like my music or not.
mm, mm,
Um, to be honest with you, and it sounds kind of egotistical and it's not really who I am. True is not who I am. Really don't care what people think. Um, because I I know what I have and I know where I'm going. And uh, there are certain things that are opinions, and then there's certain things that are facts.
mm,
Um, I can hear 1,000 different opinions, but the reason why I got mentors is that um, many of my mentors, they have where I'm going.
absolutely.
So um, so in business, um, I know people who have made millions. So when they're sharing to you what you want to do to make what you have better, it holds a lot more weight, you know.
Absolutely.
So um, anybody in business, you always need at least one or two that you talk to bi-weekly, monthly,
Mm-hmm.
that hold you accountable of your vision,
Wow.
that they tell you what you need to do, what some of your next steps should be.
Mm-hmm.
um, and then when you meet back, you give them an account of what you've done and what you have not done, you know. And when they are in that um, when they're in that bracket financially, um, the accountability is that you're not there to waste their time.
Right.
Trust me, they're already busy.
Right. Exactly.
So so I feel that a lot of business owners do not, excuse me, have mentors that can help guide them their way, and also stop them from, mentors can tell you when you're getting ready to make a mistake before you do it because they've been there and done that.
Right.
And I think that's another really big key in business.
Wow. I'm gonna let that sink in to folks for a minute about I mean because it is key and I've always said that you should have three um, three layers of people around you. You should have a mentor like you mentioned, someone that's above you, someone that's on your level, that's
Yeah.
seeking to go where you're going, and then someone that's behind you that you pull up and
Hold
that you're
up. Yeah.
teaching.
Yes, sir.
Um, and if you have people in those three, that should be that's a cycle because there should
Yeah.
always be those three levels that are going on. And I think that that's something that's missing in our community, like you were
Yeah.
talking about, where we don't have those three levels. We don't have that. Well, we do. I'm not going to say we don't. because we
Yeah.
do. But people have to be willing to seek them out too,
Yes.
because mentors aren't going to necessarily just come to you. You have to go to them, seek them out, and what you'll find is a lot of them, especially in the business world that we're in, they're willing to
Yes.
give us the knowledge. They
Yes.
want to pass on that knowledge to us and everything. We just have to be open to asking them to
Yes.
and seeking it and
Mhm.
wanting to have it. So I want to talk about this because we're ready to close it out. I want you to talk about the businesses that you have, the different products, services that you offer, and then how people can connect with you, contact you to be able to utilize those products, services, and businesses that you operate.
Got you. So, um, to anybody, my cleaning service is really to everybody, businesses to residential. Um, um, we um, we never lived in a time um, where something being cleaned or sanitized or disinfected correctly could be the difference between life or death. We
Yeah,
never
yeah,
lived in time like this
yeah,
before.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
my slogan is we test, not guess. So that's why we test surfaces and different things like that. So that you know if what you're doing, if you're disinfecting your own to make sure that what you're doing, you're confident that you're actually killing the virus, not hoping that it's done.
Right.
Um, residential, many people are going back to work and you don't want to bring that back home. So we
Absolutely.
actually offer training and different things like that to teach you how to properly disinfect your home. We have different programs where we drop our products to you so that you don't have to figure any of this stuff out yourself or make a magic potion that will blow your house up.
I know.
Uh, that's one, and my website for that is Janitex, Janitex worldwide. Again, that's Janitex worldwide .com. Then um, again, I have a TV show called The Platform. That's an inspirational show that comes on every Saturday night at 2 a.m. Then I have another show called I Am TV that is independent music talent videos.
Mhm.
And that's for artists, independent artists that typically most of them, because you're not part of the goody boy system, they don't get your music played on the radio. Well, bypass the radio and be seen on television. It's
Yeah.
better. Um, um, so you can email me at imtv imtv at gmail.com. um then I have my TV show is then I have another show called True for Perspective that is on my TV network. That comes on after the platform, um, which is under Fox. And then the last thing that we have is La Familia Arts and Media Production Studios. You can find that all on social media. On Facebook is La Familia Arts and Media. And the website is La Familia, um, La Familia, I'm sorry, lafamilia.media. That's our website. And if you want to see me on social media, I'm Steven Johnson on Facebook. And on IG, it's Stevie Franchise Johnson.
Oh, okay. That has been, brother. I want to thank you for joining us today. This has been an awesome pleasure
Thank you,
to
sir.
talk with you about this entrepreneurship journey, because I believe that you have that people have learned something, they've been equipped with something, and then they've been impacting to hopefully now be able to do something
Yeah.
with the information that you've shared, and understand that the entrepreneurship journey is not one that's it's not for everybody, but for those that choose to do it. You are an example that what can happen when you do choose to do it and how successful you can be at doing it, and understanding what it is going to take in order to be able to do it. And then more importantly too, giving back and saying, hey, this ain't just about me. This is about others. This is about the community. This is about all of us being successful in the things that we do. So I thank you for being with us today, for
Thank you,
coming in,
sir. Thank you.
for coming
Thank
in
you.
and sharing a little bit of that knowledge that you have, with us and everything like that. So this has been another episode of the Brand New Development Series, brought to you by the National Black Unity News. Can y'all see that? This is the current issue that
Yes,
y'all
sir.
want to go and get. You can go to the www.tnbun. That's the National Black Unity News newspaper. You can get your subscription. You can actually see, excuse me, this broadcast on the YouTube channel. These conversations that I have with entrepreneurs, such as Stevie Johnson and others that are on there too. So you can go, you can tune in, and you can actually go to. I'm sorry. You can also go to, the I'm sorry, the um, professional black men Professional Black Men Organization, LLC, who is actually also the sponsor with JNF Enterprises. I'm sorry for this. But you can tune into their YouTube channel as well as mine, the JNF Enterprises YouTube channel. You can see other interviews like this that bring you entrepreneurs that will enlighten, empower, and impact you. And as I always say to you all, we're in 2020. This is 2020. We're moving fast and furious, move with purpose and passion. And as I say now, we want to um, build impact, be an impact builder, because when you chase the impact, or when you build impact, you change the world, and we're about changing the world. And I thank brother Stevie Johnson for being one of those that changes the world, that's changing the world, right here in our city, Baltimore City. So we want to thank y'all for tuning in, and we will talk to y'all next time. We'll see you all soon.
God bless.